"What do you mean you're in Illinois?" I blurted out. Michael's voice came through my AirPods. That's where the car was, in O'Fallon. I huffed a laugh and literally slapped my forehead. My husband and son were looking for a used car for our family, and I'd been sending him other cars to look at, like links on the phone that were close to where he was already driving. And all the time, I thought my husband and son were in O'Fallon, Missouri. O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois are an hour away from each other. We fell headlong into the cause of 86% of conflicts: miscommunication. Even logical assumptions like which O'Fallon you're going to based on a previous conversation can cause friction and frustration for you and all your relationships. In this conversation with Michael, I forgot my own model of clean communication. So, more on clean in a bit. One of the primary engagement and leadership skills you need is great communication. After accurate self-awareness, communication comes in a close second to the top skills you need as a healthy and effective leader. I see many leaders who mistake communication for telling people things or talking a lot or just making themselves heard. That's not the goal. The goal of communication is shared meaning. The clean framework will help you create shared meaning, stopping miscommunication before it starts. So here is my clean framework for communication. Number one, clear. I know it's shocking, but other people in your life cannot read your mind. They can't know what you want, what you see as the goal, or how you see the process going until you make it clear. Clear is kind is one of my favorite Brene Brown sayings. But by being as clear as you can will help you create clarity for you and your team. Share your expectations fully and specifically. Visualize painting a picture of done, not a connect the dot. So, number two, listen with curiosity. Curiosity changes how we listen. You're not just waiting for them to stop and waiting for your turn to talk, but back to trying to understand the other person as you work together to create shared meaning. If you've been with me a little bit, you know that I love Ted Lasso. And if this is your first time watching me, welcome. I love Ted Lasso. In one of my favorite episodes, Ted says, if they were curious, they would have asked questions. So here are two questions you can try as you're listening with curiosity in a conversation. Number one, what questions do you have? Number two, is there anything unclear for you? And pro tip, after you ask these questions, literally count at least 8, if not 12, inside your head. It will feel like an eternity. I promise it feels like an eternity at first. But if you communicate that you actually want people to consider and answer you, then they will actually respond. So wait and let them respond. I know it feels like a long time, but it's really worth it. Number three is emotional regulation. We are feeling beings who think, not the other way around. Emotions are important data point in any conversation and in any way you're trying to create shared meaning. When we ignore emotions, we are likely to make poor decisions and miscommunicate even more. So, practicing emotional regulation means a lot of things, but one of them is recognizing and naming your emotions, but not allowing those emotions to take over. So, visualize that you don't want the tsunami. What you want is a canal of emotions that are regulated and going in the direction you want. Number four, absorbing stories. We are wired for stories. Stories are actually how we see and understand the world. When you are giving examples or sharing data, use a story. The story doesn't have to be amazing, it just has to be real. You can use a story of your own, like the car buying miscommunication, a client story, or even a great fable, a story will stick with people more than any data or bullet points. So, as human beings, we will believe the body over words. And that's why number 5 is nonverbal alignment. So, take a look at this picture. Oh, this picture. If that person says to you, "I'm so happy you're here, come on in," are you going to believe him? Of course not. Of course, you're not going to believe him. And it's because we believe the body. So when you are trying to create shared meaning, your body also needs to match that curious posture. So here are 2 things that you can do. Number 1, relax your shoulders. Relax your shoulders. And number 2, face the person without a barrier. Without a barrier means put your phone away. If you can position and remove a laptop from between the 2 of you. I know at times that's not possible, but try to position your body so there's open space between you and your conversational partner. So in this Mo Fallon, O Fallon fiasco, I forgot about curiosity. I just assumed where they were. So, in that moment of revelation, I changed my approach. I started to use curiosity and I started asking questions. Michael pulled off on an exit so he could focus, a form of nonverbal alignment. We both got clear on what our goal was. Go find this one black Santa Fe at Lou Fuse on Olive. Clear direction, clear goal. And if it checks out, buy it. Michael had already told me the story of their misadventure to this car lot in Illinois, and the car they went to see wasn't there. So that was the story. I shared that I was afraid. I was fearful that they were going to show up at Lou Fuse and the car wouldn't be there. That is emotional regulation. So we decided on this call to go ahead. I would call ahead and confirm everything while they were driving the 30 minutes to this new dealership. That clean communication got us to the goal with less waste and much more ease and joy. And we purchased Jack Kelly, our Santa Fe. So communication doesn't just happen by saying what's inside your head or even listening to somebody else. It's a back and forth. It's a co-creation of what? What are you creating? Shared meaning. So imagine for a moment what clean communication can do for you and your team or your partner, your kids, your parents, your community. How could using clean communication create more ease and joy in your work? Let's work together to make that happen. Here's how I want you to start. Which component of clean communication? Clear, listening with curiosity, emotional regulation, absorbing stories, and nonverbal alignment. Which part of clean communication do you think you or your team needs to work on the most? Comment below and let me know, and I'll reply with a few tips to help you. I'm Jen Whitmer. I'm a speaker and a consultant, and I help you create positive culture with complex people. So let's work together.